About to incite a riot. Make some noise, break up the silence. Scream and shout, no being quiet. Spread the facts until you buy it. Come to my den, I got toys for torture. We drink the blood fresh just to stay immortals. We bring a thug fest, calling all New Yorkers. And keep a bayonet for the future slaughters. Take your bets, the players make them offers. Heads or tails, your life is on a quarter. All the king's men tally up their horses. Forging ahead with a secret missile launching. Off to Georgia and start to cross the borders. In my bedroom, I'm making all the orders. If you come, you won't make it till morning. Get the picture, maybe kinda sort of. Ski mask, check. Extra filter, check. Scissors, check. Duct tape, check. H2O, check. Ammo, check. Ropes, check. Receiver, check. You're gonna get it, turn in your weapons. I'm under pressure, don't you forget it. You're gonna get it, turn in your weapons. I'm under pressure, don't you forget it. I got the right moves, I know what you do. You know I love you, but I'll still sue you. Don't take your questions, I'm too a guru.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the man that never eats a Snickers bar even though he's hangry as hell! You're listening to the wildest gun in the West, Bruce Montalvo and
Yo, this is the hottest non-stoppers,
Jaja.
Yo, I'll make you bust a blood clot. Yo, this is Jaja. Yo, what the fuck?
That's right, and I'm your Huckleberry.
You're my Huckleberry. That's why, honey.
We just came back from Tombstone, wasn't that fun? It sounds morbid, but you guys remember, that movie with Val Kilmer, he's Doc Holliday, the Old West, Wild West. I mean, we are broadcasting out of the Wild, Wild West, and we're living it.
We in the West, that's right.
Because the West is the best.
That's right, I got a Brooklyn accent. It's not my fault. They wanted to wash away, but,
It ain't my fault.
I can't say my fault. You know what I'm saying? I can't really do anything about it. I try to just keep my mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, we don't keep our mouths shut on this show.
No, I mean in Tucson.
We
like,
talk
we
and
don't
talk
really
and talk
get
away.
into it with people because everybody wants to know where I'm from.
And everybody's got a gun. You saw me, I'm over there in Tombstone. What am I holding? I'm getting my guns up, whether they're toy guns or freaking big freaking AK-47s. I'm getting my guns up.
Yeah, maybe we'll reshoot that video and shit.
That's exactly where we're going to shoot that video. It's exactly where we're going to shoot it. They have these nifty, gunfights there. Wasn't it named one of the cutest towns in America?
Yeah, there was some, article about every state and the cutest town in each state, and Tombstone was the cutest town in Arizona.
That's right. It's really cool. On the way there, though, I gotta warn you guys, all you burners, don't take any weed up there because they got 1 million weed dogs over there.
Oh, yeah.
Before you go in there, they're gonna, set them loose. They'll freaking, give you cavity searches, for those that keys their drugs.
Yeah, I'm having a really hard time with the gemstone people here. You think Tucson's great for the gemstone. You look for local turquoise, and they're spitting in your face, telling you it's thousands of dollars and good luck, open your wallet, all kinds of shit, bring your wallet.
Yeah, that's right, they want you to bring your wallet. They want to just rob you nowadays, folks. Look, we are not millionaires here at the Bruce Montalvo Show. I don't have Jim Morrison, Rush Limbaugh money.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I don't sell soap for $20 a bar with the Bruce Montalvo Show logo on it.
Although we should.
Although we should. That is what the point I'm trying to make, is that we're not millionaires, and we had to go to this, the office pretty much, where all the vagabonds go and ask for welfare, but we weren't asking for welfare. We were there taking care of unfortunately, our Obamacare. I don't want to have it. Well, I hate it.
Yeah.
And he's calling me lazy. He's calling all of us lazy. Okay, Obama, not only is he on this world apology tour for the U.S., but every time he goes to another country, he bad-mouths America. I've never seen this from a president. He goes, he bad-mouths America, and now he's calling us lazy. The only guy that's standing up for the United States, or is the Philippine freaking president. They called him a son of a whore. That's what it's come down to, because Americans are too pussy to say anything.
Yeah, well, right now, Obamacare in Arizona is...
That's what's keeping us down.
Well, not really. I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now, they said that 60% of the middle class in Arizona have...
you don't care that they have death panels? But what about the 60%?
Yeah, they say about, like... 2 days ago, Arizona's Blue Cross reverses Obamacare exit. They're giving the middle class a very hard time.
They're killing the middle class.
In Arizona particularly, and they're making it very confusing, and they have all these different subsidiary, like healthcare packages, and they make it impossible to find a good one for an average middle class person, or one that's affordable and decent. So it turns out that like 60% of Arizona is like not even covered. So we're just like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what they'll provide. And that's it. We just did that because it's just one of those things that they're making it's required. We have to do it. We don't even use the healthcare system. We're holistic. We try not to do,
No, but many other people, or should I say parasites, take advantage of the American people, of the middle class. That's why I think it's fitting. I'm looking at this article here for Popular Science. Newly discovered flatworm is named after Obama. That's why everybody that is part of this welfare warfare state, and Obama's definitely part of that, is to be deemed a parasite. I mean, I got to stick up for America. I'm more of a real American than Hulk Hogan here. I'm telling you that Obama deserves this title of Barack Trema Obamai. That is what they called him. That's what they called the parasite. They named him Barack Trema Obamai. I think it's fitting. The ideology of these scumbags, I mean, you were there, we were there, unfortunately. It took up so much of our day having to sign up for this freaking Obamacare. But there's people there, they're trying to get food stamps, they're trying to get welfare stamps, and they don't realize...
And just cash.
They don't realize that these EBTers, they hate the rich so much. But unfortunately, it's the rich that are paying into this system. They hate the rich, but the rich are the ones that are providing this welfare in the end for them, in a way. Actually, the middle class, not just the rich.
Yeah, no, it's true. They want to attack the rich the first chance they get, and put them down. But in fact, America, I just couldn't believe what was going on at the office in terms of the immigrant population. I mean, first of all, you have like big, fat, obese Mexican ladies that are bringing in 5-6 kids, and I met...
That's nothing. What about the Ghanaian, dirty, stinking Ghanaians from Africa that are getting preferential treatment over Americans, folks? Not veterans, not you, not me, but stinking Ghanaians with like 12 freaking kids. And
there was a lot of them.
They get the Obamacare before you.
I don't know why. I mean, it just seems like... I don't understand how come there are so many illegal. I think that maybe they're not illegal. That's how they're getting care, but they look like they should be illegal. And why? And if they are allowed into this country, why are they just coming in and like tapping the system? I mean, they're not really.
No, don't call them illegal aliens because Gary Johnson will come after you with a bat.
Okay, these people's okay.
Or a clothes hanger because he's a total dumbass that doesn't even know what Aleppo is.
Yeah, well, it looks like there are so many. They're right off the boat, so they go right off the boat. How are they getting here if they don't have any prosperous for jobs? That's what I don't understand. How come they're being allowed in? Because usually, to be part of the country, you have to have some kind of a position. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like a job, you have to have a position waiting for you. Like if I was going to Spain and I'd have to like prove that I'd be a benefit for their society, for example, like, or even Europe, I could get in on an artist visa.
That's the thing. What is a Ghanaian woman with 12 kids wrapped around her with blankets gonna add to the American society? What is she gonna add besides coming over here? And they hate America so much. They hate America. Instead of hearing baseball games in the background, like they do in America. Over where they're from, they're hearing like machine guns and people screaming. And of course, that is a product of what? The Anglo-American hegemony, the war empire.
Right, but you just basically said the reason they probably came here for, like political prisoner kind of like leniencies, you know what I'm saying, from the UN, probably let them in. They probably,
under these humanitarian issues, always humanitarian, let's be politically correct about everything. They're not immigrants that are coming here illegally. It's a humanitarian crisis. I really can't stand it, folks. It's just disgusting. You go to these places. Now, I don't want to go there, but then again, I don't want to get SWAT teamed. Though you didn't get your Obamacare this week because it's mandatory now. Otherwise, there's some type of penalties or whatever. And it's crazy because you go to these places, these hellholes. They talk about the advancement of a better Arizona when really, if you put the They Live glasses on, it's the weakening of Arizona. That's what it should be, because it's just a center for lazy crack addicts, whores, and all these hordes of immigrants that are costing the middle class millions, folks. I mean, do we really need dirty Africans from Ghana?
It's much as
and they're crying babies that they don't tell them to stop crying.
Wasn't just Ghana. I mean, there's like other African. It seemed like that there was like an influx of a lot of African people with like robes on, like Somalian or maybe Nigerian, I mean, there just seemed to be a lot of real Africans, not just like American blacks, but like Africans. Like, I think that, what I think, they like to fill up the demographics with a certain type. Well, Arizona in general does not have a lot of black people, not like where I'm from, you know what I'm saying, like New York.
Oh, Brooklyn,
And rightfully so, because
they're coming from Syria, they're coming from all over the place.
Right, and
Yemen.
Rightfully so, because Arizona's so hot, and, I mean, they're trying to get out of that kind of heat.
But these lazy EBTers, whatever they are, they just keep having kids. And they're costing us millions. That's my point. Do you agree with that?
What I think is that...
Do you agree with that?
I don't know, Bruce, but what I think
you don't know.
Let me finish my point, and I'll tell you if I agree with you, okay? Because what I think that they're doing is that, like I was saying about tipping the demographics, is that they were... what I feel like is that if they are allowing some dissidents in for political whatever people, not dissidents, but for some humanitarian reason.
There's no humanitarian reason.
They are bringing them into particularly places like this state, Arizona, because they need to tip the demographics of the black people. You know what I'm saying?
No, what they want to do, I understand.
That's why they're doing it.
And you don't have to agree with me because what I'm saying is 100% truth.
They
want to bring more of an underclass. They want to rise the poor class.
Something like that. I don't.
They have to have an underclass.
Yeah.
That's why the Mexicans were getting too rich with their lawn mowing jobs, and now they were becoming contractors, and then they were hiring little Salvadorians to mow the lawns for them or whatever. They were making too much money. Now they got to bring another underclass of folks, these Syrians, to infest America. You see what they're doing in places like Europe. I mean, they're just raping people over there. I mean, right on the street. And then you have people like the sick and dying Hillary Clinton that wants to bring in more of them and more of them. And that's what they do. See, multiculturalism is a tool to kill the old culture, the dominant culture, folks. Obama's deserving of being called a parasite. I think it's hilarious they're calling it Barack Trema Obama, because these people he's aiding he wants to aid everybody except the people that deserve it. The people that have fought and died for this country, despite that they're oligarchical, fat, psychopathic led wars by oligarchs. I mean, they deserve the help more than Ghanaians.
Yes, and I think that there are more people that have better skills that we should think about letting in first before, like that has unique skills, not necessarily better skills, because you don't want like Swiss people taking away all our watch jobs, for example, but you certainly would like to have maybe unique Swiss watch people coming in and, different, maybe teaching or for the greater good, sharing another trade secret or something like that,
But, at the same time, this whole idea of deporting like 10 million of these undocumented people has always been far-fetched. Because think about it, I don't know if you've seen this movie A Day Without a Mexican or something, but it's basically this movie where they show you all the jobs that Mexicans do, that after they would get them out of the country, nobody would do them. It looked like a ghost town. Looked like a ghost town. I mean, they showed you the Jack in the Box. There was nobody in the Yak in the Box. There was no spray. Okay, there was no McDonald's workers. Because at the end of the day, like Charlie Murphy said, you guys watch Dave Chappelle, right? Obama wants to make the country mad niggerish. That's what it is. Obama's like mad niggerish. You see, he's siding with that Colin Capper prick, that San Francisco 40 ferry. Because, those football players, they just love to have dog piles of men just dog piled on top of them, but they're not gay. That's not gay. It's athletic. No, look, I like watching football, okay? I like watching, the Raiders, all right? But that doesn't mean I'm going to go and shave my head bald and put a 13 on it, right? And then go on welfare and steal my freaking kids' food like all these other scumbags that do.
Okay, but most of the people in the welfare office were white, actually.
And you're exactly right, because predominantly the United States is still Anglo-Saxon. So all these people that say, it's the minorities that are taking up so much of the EBT. I mean, America's still predominantly white. Most people that are on EBT are white Americans.
I mean, I didn't really look at the demographics that was in the office.
Just like the same amount of people that are getting shot by the police are white Americans.
Right.
That's why Black Lives Matter is a joke. You have people like Beyonce and the rest of these idiots that are basically popularizing to their black people to go out and get shot by cops.
Yeah, exactly.
They want black people killed.
They do. They want to hurt each other. Those people are messengers to set off inner city crime, inner city racism, and inner city crime. They're there to divide and conquer. I mean, the United States. I mean, it should have been a good example that Barack Obama was our president. The fact that we have been coming leaps and we've been overcome leaps and bounds.
That was a charade. That was a fraud.
But the average person, had to
that was
deal
to
with
galvanize the dumb Africans.
Well, I don't know, but, in general,
the Ghanaians.
White people had to accept it, and first a lot of people had to go over their own personal revelations, whether they could accept a black man above them, that kind of thing. I obviously didn't. I was kind of one of those people, though, that's cool if he's a cool guy, but he's not. But you know what? He's not really cool, so he's irrelevant. Okay, besides the point, I don't want to talk about Obama. He's just irrelevant. But I think
he's a parasite.
But I think that
you didn't
he's
get
just
the memo?
part of the problem because we're looking at a third worldization.
That's what they want.
Yes, it's not like
so it's a niggazation.
Well,
because you got the president of the United States, you got him siding with anti-American statements. It's ridiculous. Never in the history of America has there been a so outward anti-American president.
Yeah, well, I think that we're going down. You're wrong, okay? Because a lot of them were German, and they were always siding with the other side. So, without our knowing this, Dr. Strangelove. But I think in general, the fact that we are coming to a much lower standard of what we consider a consciousness, and we are allowing that, with television, you have the Honey Boo Boos and the Jerry Springers, and that's not black or white, Bruce. I mean, this has been going on for a while now, for at least 10 years, where movies get dumbed down, the special effects are corny, they just allow for less intelligence overall, even at the higher realms with the intellectual levels, where even the art has gotten like more pop and like less critical, and there was less theory behind it. Films have become less art based or intellectual again, but that's really what's happening. The people are not thinking; they're worried about their student debt.
What you have is a bunch of Americans who are highly entertained nowadays, but incredibly stupid.
That's right.
Everybody's highly entertained, but incredibly stupid. They don't see just the outward corruption that this government is involved in.
There is smart funny, and there is smart TV. I mean, you have American Dad, which is truly, you said that you think that Seth MacFarlane is probably one of the smartest mans on the face of the planet right now.
Okay, and it's funny you mentioned Seth MacFarlane because, it's also 15 years since 9/11. And that guy was supposed to be on a flight that was going to hit one of the Twin Towers, and he got the intel. So that's why they allow that guy to be so damn funny.
Mm.
Right? I mean, how many jokes does he steal? I mean, he stole your freaking uncle's joke.
Oh, but that wasn't a joke. That's just a reference. Nope.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a dirty pervert, like in a bathroom, whipping his freaking dingus out at somebody.
He didn't steal it. He appropriated it. He reincorporated it, and he wasn't making it as a joke. He was using the act.
Oh, you've heard that one before.
Yeah, exactly.
You've heard that one before. Anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in. If you're listening to us on TalkStreamLive, we're on the top 50 on TalkStreamLive. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to tune in every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain Time on TalkStreamLive. So here we are, folks. Basically, we had to sign up for that damn Obamacare. There was nothing but scumbags all around me. I kept my They Live glasses on, and I kept seeing all sorts of subliminal messages in there. Just like I was John Nada.
Like what?
Well, instead of there being opportunities there are no opportunities there. They want people to go there and destroy the middle class, destroy the last makers of America.
You know what?
Basically, what I see is a bunch of takers in there.
Okay, but you know what I see?
I mean, we were forced to go in there because of the Obamacare.
And we're very thankful that we were able to get help. So, I think that America is great for being able to do that. So, regardless, you have to be very thankful at the end of the day. And who cares about, the other man getting help? They have their own story. Although we can just, raise an eyebrow and just be like, how come there's so many? And like, you know what I don't like? That woman that I met in the freaking bathroom who was like, I was like, oh yeah, today we had what's up with this line? She's like, oh yeah, and I have 5 kids that I have to feed for me, and 5 kids that I have to feed and dress for my fiance. So I got 10 kids.
Did she have any eyebrows?
I
bet she didn't have any eyebrows. I bet she used Sharpie markers for her face.
They were pretty structured,
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude.
And I don't know, maybe she ate all the kids' food too because that woman couldn't even fit into the bathroom stall.
Wow. They have these obese, piggish, just morbidly rotund people at most of these welfare offices. It's disgusting. I seriously want to go in there and bullhorn those people and say, you are a bunch of fat, lazy takers instead of being makers. Obama is right about you. You are all lazy. Go back to your dirty countries.
I think the fattest people there are the ones that work there. Those women are large.
They are large and in charge like Large Marge. They're scary.
They're
scary.
They're
fat.
very nice though, but they were very large.
They're not even like BBWs. They're like UUWs, like ugly W's.
Okay,
I don't know.
But they were so sweet. Okay, but they were very sweet people. It's just unfortunate for some reason they are allowing this aesthetic of being extra large and it's unhealthy. So it's
look. You know what I saw the other day? I saw this fat, disgusting, hideously fat freaking beast that thinks she's a model going for the fattest woman on earth award. That's what she wants to be in the Guinness Book of World Records, and she has this like dark guy with glasses that looks like the son from American Dad, Steve. He's like hugging her like, yeah, baby, I like them large. I mean, it's disgusting. He feeds her with a funnel. A funnel.
Yeah,
that's what it's come down to. You know what they're feeding that fat, disgusting hog with? Your money. It's a bunch of. She's eating a bunch of EBT ding dongs and ho hos and Yankee Doodles. That's what they were stuffing down the freaking funnel. It's disgusting. It really is.
I don't know. But, people, it's just like so easy to get sick from the food. I mean, it's very dangerous. I feel like everything's got so much fat in it. And then the fat that they use, if it's not like bacon fat, you got the soybean oils, which are disgusting. Forget the vegetable oils. The corn oils are all GMO'd, and the cheaper, and the canola oil is not even real oil. So all that fake fuel, because fat is basically a fuel, is toxic for you. It's really, really toxic. Isn't there a Britney Spears song called?
Oh, please don't promote that disgusting garbage. Look, if she's really 34, then wow, man. Then I don't want to age like that. Okay.
They lie about all their ages. They have
to.
to.
But let me get back to this disgusting niggazation of America, because that's what it is. Yeah, niggazation. That's what it is. You got people like this Brandon Marshall taking knees for the Denver Broncos, when really, I mean, this guy should just have his jersey burned. I mean, where else are you going to get this much money, this much fame, if not America, just for throwing a freaking football around and having gay orgies on the field?
You got a football this week.
But then again, here's the thing. Here's where it becomes like a free speech thing, but then it isn't, because it's like a psyop. Because look at places like North Korea, where they have mandatory flag worship. I mean, do you want that? I don't want mandatory flag worship. It's like having your cake and eating it too, but I'm disgusted because they're communists. Because they're promoting a communist mentality. Because that loser for the San Francisco Ferries, their quarterback, lived with white parents and he just converted to Islam, yet he handles pigskin all day. Right? Because that's what is people that practice Islam are. They're just repressed Catholics. They're disgusting perverts just like Muhammad, who used to rape freaking kids. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, they're disgusting, but they're teaching a hatred of America, and they're passing it off like it's cool. Oh, yeah, let me take a knee during the national anthem. I mean, that's extremely disrespectful.
It definitely is.
And it's part of the, like you said, the divide and conquer mentality. It's disgusting.
And speaking of North Korea, that there was just a few hours ago, they say that the biggest nuclear test in Korea sparks a sanction push.
That's right.
So,
apparently Kim Jong-un's clone or whatever the CIA's got going on in North Korea, because, I mean, it's just like Operation Ajax. I mean, they control North Korea. They have for a long time. If you think Kim Jong-un has a brain of his own, you're really not giving the Anglo-American military-industrial complex any credit.
Yeah, you need to give them
because these guys are the scariest dudes in the world. All right? I mean, more scary than this guy Bruce Miller. Bruce Miller from the San Francisco 40 Ferries, that apparently is now beating 70-year-old men with a cane. What do you think of that? I mean, this football team is out of control. They have their quarterback with like a big afro, even though he was raised by white people in very prestigious freaking schools. And they allow for him to become a quarterback and get paid millions of dollars just for throwing a pigskin around when he converted to Islam. How nice is that, right? And he slaps on a Fidel Castro shirt and a Malcolm X hat, and the guy's like a revolutionary now. Now he's got his teammates beating 70-year-old men to death, and they're disrespecting the American flag. I mean, say what you want about America. It's still our home, our country, and it's just disgusting. The promotion of anti-American values. And that's what they're trying to do. It's like anti-American values under Obama. Their values.
But
what he's promoting.
Just look into the beginnings of Black Friday, Bruce. You have this kind of third world mentality being promoted to the idiots, to the sheeples. Okay, you see low-life whites, you see low-life Latinos, low-life blacks.
Oh, low lives come in every color.
Just low-lives, period, you know what I'm
But
saying?
the top low lives agree with one color. Green, baby.
Yeah.
Green. Which is why we go to our next topic here on the Bruce Montalvo show. Oh, yeah, those are top satanic freaking ghouls. Anyway, folks, enough about my satanic upbringing.
That's how Bruce knows so much.
Enough of that. Let's talk about the satanic symbolism at Ground Zero in NYC. Did you know they have a cube of Saturn at Ground Zero?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a waterfall.
Yeah,
People know it's there. It's been there for a very long time.
What do you mean by a fountain of Saturn?
That's what it is. If you go there, folks, to Ground Zero, we didn't get a chance to go there because we're trying to escape the nuclear holocaust that's going on in New York by way of the Hudson, that nuclear power plant that's leaking, hundreds, thousands of gallons of toxic groundwater leaking right into the Hudson River, the Indian Point power plant. Don't just scoff at that, folks. That's major. New York is toxic. You were talking about Britney Spears' music. Yeah, that's pretty toxic. But not as toxic as what's going on in Indian Point. We had to get the hell out of there, so I didn't have enough time to be running around bitch-slapping David Icke or that Mason, Luke Radowski, or whoever is around Ground Zero with the quality of my work, right? Maybe I'll go over there and I'll do a video over there at the cube of Ground Zero. But I'll have to be in a freaking biohazard suit. Just like if I was going to a Hillary Clinton rally. You have to be in a biohazard suit to make sure that she doesn't spit up all that green phlegm on you. Yeah, I thought she was spitting up a freaking reptilian.
Yeah, maybe.
I thought she was like King Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z, spitting out a freaking alien out of her mouth.
Yeah, maybe she was giving birth to little crocodiles.
I don't know, but whatever it was, I'm thinking, a rational man would think, okay, that's probably a lemon squeeze.
Mm.
But I was looking at more pictures, and I seriously feel like puking just thinking about it. It looked like phlegm. It looked like gargajo.
Yeah, but she looked better today.
I know, I'll speak English in America.
But she looked better today, Bruce, because I saw her, she looked slimmer, and she's
not coughing as much?
No, it looks like they put her on some kind of a juice fast, and maybe they gave her a steroid as well, but it also looks like she might even be doing a chelation, which is when they add oxygen to your blood, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, she looks a lot different.
She looks like she's on meth. I'm pretty sure that black handler of hers is like her Theodore Morell. The odor, Morell, her Nazi doctor.
No,
and he's probably giving her some type of methamphetamine concoction.
I don't know, but she was, don't forget, she's 15 miles from the nuclear power plant that's been leaking tremendously for the past 4 years. This past 2 years, there's been 5 or 10 things that happen, and the tritium will give her some kind of a thyroid issue, which could lead to a lung infection. There's things that she has that looks like very relatable to something nuclear, some kind of nuclear, which brings us back to
from the fallout there.
From the fallout, from something in the water that she's too close. Why can't somebody tell her to sell her house? I don't understand.
That is my next point, because that's where I want to lead to. Because this guy, her VP, Tim Kaine.
Oh, yeah.
That guy's a Jesuit.
Nixon Jr.?
That guy's a Jesuit. Yeah, he looks like Nixon, too. He's probably a Lebensborn of that family, Nazi Illuminati bloodline. But you know what? Let's not get paranormal here just yet. Look.
That guy looks more presidential.
What I'm trying to say here is that this guy, the Jesuits might set up Tim Kaine in case something happens to Hillary, because her health really looks like it's just on a downward spiral. That if, in case she were to, let's say, have to vacate the presidency, or she gets so ill that she, let's say, passes away during the presidency.
God forbid.
This guy Tim Kaine would step in, and guess what? That's what the Jesuits want. They want Jesuits to have launch codes. Now, don't get us wrong. I mean, Hillary, she's a top Jesuit too, man. She is, but she's very sick. Speaking of sick, we were going to have Jordan Maxwell on to talk about, like I was saying, the occult symbolism. Like I mentioned in Ground Zero, they have the cube of Saturn that represents basically everything that the occult worships right there at Ground Zero. It's very symbolic of their dark beliefs. And I spoke with Jordan about Hillary Clinton. We spoke. It was a little mini interview. He was supposed to be on, but we just had him on for one quick little question. And he's sick right now, so if you're listening, please send your love and prayers to our good friend Jordan Maxwell, who's been doing a lot of just great specials here on the Bruce Montalvo Show with us. I mean, great shows. I mean, it's very enlightening to have him on. It would have been great. We would have talked about basically the origins of Moses and psychedelic mushroom.
But save it for another time, and hopefully he'll be back soon, you know? I mean,
he's got to start taking that Denshin tea for the heart. I mean, I think he'll be fine. You know, he was well enough to type that he was feeling ill and that he was going to go to the hospital. But again, our good friend Jordan Maxwell is not feeling well, and just send your love and prayers.
Yeah, you should go to the JordanMaxwellShow.com.
That's right, Jordan Maxwell Show. Go to that one.
Yeah.
Because he's having all sorts of troubles with people who are taking his name. You got to go to JordanMaxwellShow.com. And we'll have him on again, and we'll talk about just that, folks. Moses tripping on magic mushrooms. How about this? We'll just give him a tiny little taste. Did you know, folks, that they used to burn hemp in the old temples? Rabbis used to burn hemp candles.
Yeah.
And they used it.
Burning bush, man.
That's right. They would burn some weed in order to keep away demons, evil spirits, shapeshifters. And here's where I'm getting at. Because
your mother?
The whole LSD, that whole perception when you're on these types of drugs, it's like you could tap into another world. I mean, the dimensions are like paper thin. You'd have to be God and scream so loud that you could open up a wormhole into another dimension. But that's the thing, folks. I mean, the people that are here, they're not necessarily reptoids like Hillary Clinton, but her aura, her spirit, and the people that, more importantly, the people that put her up on that pedestal as a puppet to just, flap around and fling phlegm at everyone, they're the ones that have the darkest auras. Now, could you imagine in like an alternate world what those people look like? I mean, they could very well be like demons that look freaking like, iguanas, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole perception. That's the whole thing where I'm getting at. Maybe when you tap into these drugs, like the psychedelics, I mean, even Moses saw reptile people. He probably saw them, their inner aura, their other self in another metaphysical plane.
Wow. Speaking of metaphysical planes and mushrooms, did you hear about the rare fungus mushroom only found in Hawaiian lava that it causes women to spontaneously orgasm?
Wow. I don't think you need that mushroom, though, because
just by
I'm your
smelling
huckleberry.
No, all you got to do is smell it and go, and then you go,
Okay, we're not at Cat's Deli. Okay?
No, I'm at Jaja's crib.
She's at Jaja's Deli.
All day.
All day, every day. All day, every day. And what do we do all day, every day? Why don't you promote, how we're hard workers, not like those lazy bastards that we saw over at the welfare office when we were trying to get our Medicare, all that good stuff.
Right. So you should go to our Etsy stores. We have, I put up some new things. Etsy.com/shop/conceptual subculture. You can just go to Etsy.com. It's a big handmade items and stuff like that, and just type in one word, conceptual subculture, or you can put the /shop conceptual subculture. But then the other one is I put up some new earrings and a couple of new cuffs. And anybody listening to the show, if you write to me and you want something, it's 50 off on most things. Just be like, yo, what's up with that 50 off, Ja? And I'll be like, yo, which piece? I'm like, that one. And I'll hook it up for you, all right? So the other one is Antique Obsessions. We got beautiful repoussé, antique, sterling silver, one of a kind, right? And Bruce and I are taking extra jewelry classes here in Tucson, where they're having their gem shows right now. As a matter
Just
of fact,
came back from a bead show.
Yeah, they were whack.
They were whack,
yeah,
but you
but
know,
I got
we needed something to do.
Yeah, I saw some gorgeous garnets. I got
Before we light the candles on Shabbat Shalom, and I become El Gran Bruce Steen. I used to be El Gran Montalban, but you know I stopped drinking that GMO beer, the Dos Equis, because it's no bueno. So now I'm El Gran Bruceberg, because everybody with a camera nowadays thinks they're Steven Spielberg.
Oh, that's right.
But anyway, buy our jewelry, please.
I got you, right?
Please buy our jewelry,
In that video.
because it supports the show.
Oh, yes, please.
You got my ass in what video?
The Tombstone video where
That's
you
right.
were exposing the Masonic temple in
Tombstone, Arizona.
Tombstone.
And not only that, but I exposed the Wyatt Earp conspiracy, the possibility that there never was a big gun down,
I believe
big
that.
hoedown there, because
No way.
what was overlooking the scene at the OK Corral?
Of the Masonic
The
Lodge.
Masonic Lodge, not only a Masonic Lodge, but King Solomon's.
Oh, King Solomon.
And what does Solomon mean? Solomon means
mine.
Saturn.
Okay, but also they were looking, but how far, where was the Masonic temple, King Solomon's mine, located next
Oh,
to?
it was right down the street
It
as
was
well.
down the block from the mine.
All right.
So it was a big mining community that looked like it was co-opted by the Masons. They were
But that's the
forced to-
thing. That's the thing. We went there, and I was exposing the fact that that big gun down, the big hoedown, never went down.
No, and okay, actually they say okay corral, but you know, isn't
Well,
the,
you see them doing the Masonic hand sign.
well, okay, is a Masonic sign. You say everything okay, it means like wink, wink. It's a masonry.
That's a
It
Masonic
comes
sign,
from the masonry. So okay corral.
Those symbols are literally everywhere.
Hmm.
I mean, you don't have to be friggin' Rihanna singing that shit to say that either.
I don't know. I heard she didn't. I heard she was. Anyway, she's probably upset about Chris Brown getting all caught up.
Oh no, Chris Brown was under some MK Ultra throwing freaking guns like a pansy out the window. Like throwing them out the window, trying to look hard. But like I was saying, we were over there at Tombstone. It was a lot of fun, Stone, and I mean the gunfights over there are just hilarious. We saw a hooker get shot by some ugly fat broad that apparently had her husband cheating on her with the hooker. But the hooker had like a shotgun and then blasted somebody else before that. But it's just crazy, you know. And on the same day that we go there, TV's Wyatt Earp died.
Yeah, the same day.
The same day.
That was really bizarre.
You know what I thought was funny? This one shirt that said...
I'm your Huckleberry.
That one was good too, but what I thought was funny was this shirt that said, "Ghosts don't scare me. Wait till you meet my wife."
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It gets like that on the show with you sometimes, right? With you and I. But we love each other. Right?
No, I don't love
Oh my God, on air you're going to admit that? They could use that like in court one day if they like send some ELF wave.
I love you.
You got Elliot Rogers thinking I'm going to gun you down with the freaking 22 rifle I had over in whatever he calls himself now. Shout out to our good friends. We see that they're listening. But let's go to some nitty gritty here. The nitty gritty news. What do you think of?
Not the little titty Gwen Stefani one.
No.
The nitty gritty.
Not little titty tabletop titty Stefani news. Let's go to the nitty gritty news, which is Gary Johnson forgetting what Aleppo is. I mean, what a dumbass! I had just done a video on Exposed News the night before, calling him a dumbass. Not just a dumbass, but a total dumbass. Because this guy is no libertarian. When he ran as a libertarian back in 2012, I endorsed him. I went out. I voted for him. Nothing happened. Okay, this go-around, he should have had Judge Jim Gray with him. But he has this other freaking they-live alien that's pro-gun control, and then you see Gary sell out, and then you see him giving these interviews. He literally looks like he's on crack.
It's unbelievable.
He looks like he's on crack. He's smoking something. When he said, "Oh, I'm going to stop smoking weed because when I'm running for president," meanwhile he's playing with like little mooses with his eyes redder than the devil's dick, flailing around clothes hangers like they're lightsabers. I mean, really? This is what we have as a libertarian candidate? But the thing is, he's no libertarian because when he ran in 2012, he literally amassed so much debt as a libertarian. Now, is that fiscally conservative? We know he's socially liberal, okay, because he's so socially liberal that he hates the term illegal aliens. Meanwhile, in Mexico, they're the most draconian freaking nation when it comes to immigration, beating the daylights out of these stinky little Guatemalans and El Salvadorians. They literally beat them to death so bad. They rape their wives. They freaking just have these coyotes running them up and down, drug smuggling freaking mules. I mean, it's ridiculous. But no, don't call them illegal aliens, but in Mexico they're calling them that, and worse, they're mutilating them, and it's government sponsored. But like I was saying, Gary Johnson, not only is he a dumbass, but I mean he's a dangerous dumbass because he buys into this whole Ebola thing. If Ebola's really going on or Zika's going wild, guess what? He wants the government to go to your house and forcefully vaccinate you at gunpoint.
Yeah, that's not very libertarian.
That's not very libertarian at all. And you got the right to rap about that because, I mean, your family, you had a cousin run for president.
That's right, my cousin Aaron Russo.
That's right. That's right. I want to apologize last week. I know I saw some occult symbolism in Trading Places, but, that's my family too,
Mm-hmm.
And whatever, it's Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Hollywood is Hollywood. You're going to have occult shit everywhere.
Maybe they told him, and that's why he ran away. He said he couldn't take it, and they made him put it in, and that was it.
Hey, how much money did he make for America Freedom to Fascism?
Maybe he didn't know what it was at
so
the time
much
that
money
he did it.
into
Maybe
that.
that's how he found out. Maybe he didn't realize this. Maybe he had people come to him and say to him, "Okay, Aaron, put this in your film. We need you to do this."
I mean, that's way on. It's got their proxies fighting the CIA's proxies, and they literally got like their own little basketball teams killing each other in Syria.
You know why?
Over what? A YouTube video?
No.
Just like Hillary Clinton said it was?
No. Do you know why, really? Because the Syrians, for thousands of years, they've had incredible records, and they also have incredible ways that they hide their relics and ancient artifacts.
Well, that's what ISIS is making so much money right now off of that in the black market. I mean, not just the black market oil they're getting in Kurdistan, but those artifacts that they supposedly destroyed, they're actually stealing.
It wasn't just those that they're destroying and that they were stealing. They are really stealing all kinds of stuff that's hidden in walls. That's why they're pulling the land apart to gather whatever they can for archaeological purposes. It's almost like to study the history.
Well, the CIA gives America a bad name, and Donald Trump will never say this. He didn't say it in front of Enrique Rata Nieto. He acted like a total pussy and capitulated on everything that made him win the GOP in the first place. But, you have this whole thing with Gary Johnson forgetting what Aleppo is, or not knowing what it is. I'm going to try to save his campaign. Let's see. Just because he definitely is a better choice than Hillary Clinton.
Why can't you run for president?
That's what I'm saying. If that would have been me, I would have said, what is Aleppo? Even if I would have slipped up, I would have said, well, it doesn't matter what Aleppo is. What is Detroit? I care, not about what's going on in Syria. I'm going to work to make sure that the CIA is defunded and can't continue to cause Aleppos. Right?
Yeah, but you know what? There's plenty of places that that these people.
And that's truly non-interventionism.
Why don't they just bring them to? They hit them with these what are these chemical bombs?
But then they call you an isolationist if you think, that you could just, care about Americans first. And that's why another part of the doublespeak that Trump's doing, he's America first. He's really not America first. He's got a love affair with Putin. He wants to be the Putin of the United States. Why do you think they're like, tonguing and kissing every time in the news? And I tell you what, folks, you don't elect who gets to become president. You really don't. You really don't. It's the mainstream media that elects who becomes the next president. That's what I've noticed. Not stupid delegates, not the people. It's the mainstream media. Would you agree with that? That they're the big fish in the pond?
Well, it's going to be the superdelegates. So, they're just working for the superdelegates in that respect.
Right, because they're in bed with each other. The stupid delegates are banging the stupid CNN actresses that are like, oh, I love being on television and feeling beautiful when everybody's looking at me. Right? They're so shallow, so just void of having a soul. These shapeshifters in the media. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. Look, they set up Gary Johnson. They probably had intel that he had smoked a blunt before doing that show on MSNBC. Because let's face it, folks. Gary Johnson's flip-flopping on guns now, but the reason I supported him was because he was for decriminalization of marijuana, which is better than legalization. That's what you really need, is decriminalization of it. You can't go to Colorado and bring back a truck full of freaking Colorado Kush. You can't do it. Right? So it's still illegal. And it's continuing. Since William Randolph Hearst lobbied to make it illegal. It's still continuing because it basically is going to cost the government more money because it's so cheap. It's such a renewable resource. You can make paper, clothes. It helps with cancer, glaucoma, so much. If you go back, you look at studies from UCLA, not the Marxists. I'm assuming these are good folk that studied at UCLA that stated that you're not under high risk of developing lung cancer if you're a heavy marijuana smoker. They did that study. So it's basically big pharma and the government that are behind this Schedule 1, restructuring or keeping it a Schedule 1 drug.
Yeah, man, I don't know. They should just legalize and get everybody out of jail who's not, illegally transporting it through, states with pounds and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? There's, so many people that are locked up for nothing.
So that's one of Gary Johnson's strong points.
Yeah, it's his only
But the guy is working for the fat cats. He's working for the fat cats in the nuclear industry. He's for global warming. You were giving me the scoop on some pretty dirty freaking business this guy's involved in.
Well, just think about it. He's all for nuclear power. So,
look at his state. His state was nuked. Legendary nukes in freaking New Mexico have gone down.
And it's still
the white sands testing, all that.
It's called WIPP. That's the nuclear spill, and this is how Bruce and I figured out. They did a PSYOP, and this is what they told the people, in the Los Alamos National Laboratory at the Waste Isolation Pilot Project. What happened is that somebody told the committee members that tests have been revealed that the barrel in question contained a rare combination of waste products from the lab, wheat-based kitty litter that was used to absorb plutonium, contained nitrate salts, material with high acidity and trace metals. So they wanted to blame, this was really weird, they tried to say that they blamed the kitty litter on the leak on the kitty litter. The waste inside, they said, burst, and then whatever. And that's that. They're trying to blame that that the kitty litter busted open with 68660. It was some kind of a routine, some stockpile, some shit. Nitrate salt rose, temperatures exploded. Bullshit. This is what happened. And then they made it up. They're using the kitty litter and we saw it somewhere else, to absorb the tritium. And then they psyop you in the news, and that was the SF reporter. They got all this, they got their facts wrong, They love to twist it up so they don't tell you that they're attempting to use kitty litter to absorb the waste, because people were smelling it and stuff. And then the same thing happened in Buchanan, New York, and the whole city, Buchanan, New York, the whole city smelled like kitty litter, and then we started smelling it in our own water. Okay?
That's why I couldn't do a video this year about the esoteric Saturn symbolism at Ground Zero in New York City. Anyway, it's been 15 years, and so much can be remembered, from the eerie events that happened. Remember when they set up like some type of huge Eye of Horus around Ground Zero? And it was on CBS?
Right.
What was that all about? And then you had them put in this giant cube fountain at Ground Zero, which is, again, indicative of the North Pole of Saturn, where you get the hexagram, where you get the Masonic logo, the whole just structure, the symbols of Saturn. That's what it is, a cube. And you have that cube in front of your old college, Cooper Union.
Yeah.
That is what the Illuminati worship. It's like the Borg in Star Trek.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, you and Jordan. But yeah, Gary is really, he's actually has a good record on speaking about marijuana and the legalization of it, and also, but he did say no legalization of heroin, and that's opposite of Jesse Ventura. He said no restriction.
He wants to legalize all drugs.
Yeah, and that's what Aaron was about. And if you look at the model for that, it's Switzerland. They legalized prostitution. They legalized anybody can have a gun. They legalized heroin. You can get it if you need it. You get it. And Switzerland is a very civilized country.
Well, look at Switzerland opposed to Los Angeles, Skid Row, where all the baggies of heroin or whatever are, the little balloons of drugs are infested on the sidewalks and the curbs, all over the streets.
Disgusting. He goes for prescriptions for heroin, so it's like you can get it, but you get a prescription because that way it doesn't become like you start selling it, because then it becomes somebody else making profit off of it. But like they have it like they do in Switzerland, there is a lot less crime actually. Zurich is a very safe place to live. I wish that we took their examples. They have the best water in the world. They have the scientists. Lake Zurich, his water is supposed to be like Evian. It's completely healthy and delicious. I'm just so horrified with like everybody's water is just totally fluorinated, and what else chlorinated, and who knows what else they stick in it. They put lithium in certain waters to keep people down and crazy. I don't get it. I think we can all have beautiful drinking water, and that's something to aspire to as a country.
Absolutely true. Absolutely
what
true.
What happened to T. Pickens? What's his name? T-Bone Pickens? What else?
Speaking of T-Bone, TPP Pickens, that's another thing Gary Johnson endorses is the TPP.
Oh, yeah.
So he's all for Coca-Cola taking over the United States and taking over Mexico, and GE and Carl's Jr. and basically every freaking corporation to knock down all the borders and just be one global freaking world order.
They would love that. They would love that. Wait.
No, you won't have countries. You'll have Coca-Cola over here and Pepsi over there and Samsung over there and Merrill Lynch over here. And that's what they want. They want to get rid of Madagascar and call it freaking Bank of Madagascar.
Yeah, they're really ripping up Madagascar though, Bruce, for gemstones. They get a lot of labradorite and moonstone over there. Everything, tigers.
I laughed because I thought of that children's friggin' Disney film, Madagascar with those squirrels and whatever, those caricatures. It's funny.
And they're killing a lot of animals there. But, that's what they're doing. They're just,
Oh, I'm not laughing about that.
They're just, they're ripping that island apart. So, yeah, but they are getting gemstones. So that's the truth.
That's the truth. And guess what? It's also time for Bruce's truth. And my truth is usually revealed in my top 10 list.
But wait, I'm sorry. I just want to interrupt you before you start. It says here about Gary Johnson's issues, it says no mandatory vaccines let parents decide. That was May 2016. But then he changed his mind. Is that it? He wobbled on that issue, right? That was May 2016, but now he wobbled.
Oh, he's a wobbler.
August.
He's a wobbler, all right. And now guess what? Now it's time for that list that I didn't steal from Letterman. That's right. Drum roll, please. I gotta buy like a better drum roll.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, they grabbed a bunch of jewels, about $1 million worth in jewels from some rapper.
They gave it back.
Let's see what this was here. Some rapper here. Daily Mail. Arena worker who swiped $3 million in jewelry from Drake is arrested. So Drake got jacked, and this happened in Arizona. Drake got jacked in Arizona. That's right. You don't come out to the wild, wild west, Drake. Okay, and with your little fruity owl shirt. Okay, you get jacked. That's funny, folks. That guy, I mean, what is it with rappers nowadays like that guy? I mean, they got like these nasally, freaking wheezy, freaking sounding losers. What happened to Tupac? Oh, he's in Cuba. We know what happened to Tupac, right? Anyway, that was number 10. We have number 9. How about that Obama? How about that Obama calling Americans lazy? That's right, folks. He went to Laos and kept repeating that Americans are lazy. You see, this dumbass in chief just loves his anti-American values. I don't even know why he's president of America. Why he wanted to be president. Oh, because the Rothschilds told him to do it. Just like Hillary, she doesn't want to be president. I mean, she's coughing up freaking reptilians, spitting freaking green slime all over people. And they're forcing her, folks. But anyway, they love to bash America. They love it. It says here, during a town hall meeting in Laos, President Barack Obama called Americans lazy multiple times. And that's what you see. You see a bunch of lazy freaking Ghanans and lazy, bald freaking headed cholos and cholas taking up all the money unjustly from the middle class to feed their hordes of EBT babies. I mean, it's disgusting, folks. They should not be, especially Ghanans. If you're American and you need help, you're very super poor, this country is so wealthy, it should be able to help our poorer citizens. But not these lazy bastards. I mean, I'm assuming Obama's talking about these people because there are very hard-working American people. I mean, the most hard-working are American people, in my book. So, something tells me that Dumber isn't referring to the hard-working people of America that still make things, which is a dying breed, folks, but they're there. He's talking about the people that I saw over at that freaking office when I was getting my Medi-Cal, my Medicare, so they don't penalize me and throw me in a death freaking panel. I mean, I got to do it, folks. We got to do it. At the end of the day, we're all part of this slave system. And, we go against them, they'll send the freaking SWAT team to our house, folks. But that's, regardless, we have to stand up. When that happens, you got to stand up. You got to defend yourself at all times. And I tell you what, folks, Americans are not lazy. Americans are proud, hardworking people, and Obama is a parasite. He is Baracktai Obama. And that son of a bitch just loves going to other countries and bashing America. I'm sick of it. That's why, number 8, he took the words right out of my mouth, that friggin' Philippine president called Obama a son of a bitch. Called him bakla, pretty much. He said he's a bakla Muslim. He called him a son of a whore. And here it says here, Yahoo News, Duarte, Obama shake hands in chat after the rift over insult. Okay, it seems like they're buddies now. Well, you know, Duarte probably doesn't want to lose his favorite driver like Putin did. All right, what happened with Putin? After he has this intense stare down with Barry O, his driver ends up being sideswiped on a highway and killed. So, you know, he smartened up. Duarte smartened up, and he said, you know what, I'm just going to shake hands with Obama because he's going to freaking have my driver droned more than likely. So he redacted his son of a whore insult, which is, he took the words right out of the alt-right's mouth right there, folks. That was, it was number 8. No, number 7. Let's see, inside the hardcore world of military simulations. Military simulations, I tell you, the news are pretty much military simulations. Your San Bernardinos and all these false flagos that are fed to you like Cheerios. Let's see here.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of military simulations here in Tucson. The whole skies the other day, they were filled. They wouldn't stop for like 5 hours, given the fact that the Air Force was over here. Remember? Remember at the class?
Yes. There's a lot of peculiar, strange activities here in the Tucson sky. But this article I have here, War Games Inside the Hardcore World of Military Simulations. They have an augmented reality where they have severed heads, realistic guns, the 300-pound man wishing for Obama's death. Welcome to America's next big sport. So it's kind of like 3D cyber gaming. I mean, what are they going to use this for?
Like an American Dad? Like the rich brother from the rich son?
The Indian guy, Stan's Indian brother in Arizona. Yeah, like some 3D cyber games. Yeah, well, that's all the rage now.
For his joystick?
Yeah, for an extra blast. That's what we have going on now. Sure, they're going to use or have been using this technology to literally MK Ultra their assassins. You know, first they put them in this augmented reality. Meanwhile, if you're truly conscious, you have realized that the whole world is pretty much part of a matrix, and we could just be on rewind, spinning in the augmented reality the rings that are Saturn. No, but you're going to want to put me in a white padded cell, right? You bastards that are working for the freaking NSAs to put this essay in jail homes? I don't think so. I took a picture at Tombstone where I was like in a little jail cell. Ugly face. You got to make an ugly face when you're in like jail or you're punching something. Anyway, military simulations. That's right. They're all the rage. And that was number 7. How about this, folks? Think about this. I mean, I know it's Dr. Strangelove and we're playing patty cake with the Russians nowadays, but what if we have a little quagmire like this? I mean, what's going to happen? It's going to be total war with Putin. You have a Russian fighter jet that came within 10 feet of a U.S. Navy plane.
That was a U.S. But it might have been owned by Russia, but what you're not realizing, Bruce, is that it was probably an American flying it. The fact is that we're over there, and NASA's over there, and there's no bones about it. Okay, the Americans and the Russians are working together in space, which means
they're working in
all
tandem.
Air. So there's no way we're going to war with a superpower like that.
Right. So you don't think Obama whacked out Putin's driver?
If anything,
That was
Putin. Maybe he saw something.
Maybe he saw Putin doing a rail off a stripper's ass. He probably saw Putin with too many strippers, and he had the dirt on Putin. Putin liked the fat ones, probably. Who knows? Who knows, folks? I don't. I don't get any intel like that. All right, maybe he likes cankle women like that rapist Bill Clinton. You know, the fatter the cankles, the better. Who knows? Who knows? That's why this driver, probably had to go. He knew too much. He knew too much. See, number 5. We have a study here that says millennials are more conservative than their preceding generations. I would have to say so. I mean, in my case, if you listen to the show, you'll see how conservative I am, how fiscally conservative, how if I were running for president, I wouldn't want you to pay taxes at all. I'd want to abolish the Fed. I want you to keep your guns. All that good stuff, folks. So I'm pretty damn conservative. So let's take this study here for face value. But just take it with a grain of salt because it's coming from CINNN, the Clinton News Network. Millennials more conservative than you think. That's right. According to the millennial. All these subgenres they come up for people. I still say it's you stinking baby boomers that were too much of a bunch of pussies to stand up for yourselves that got us into this mess in the first place. You let the neocons run wild. You let the leftist, godless liberals run wild. And now, I mean, the millennials have to step up to the plate. We have to step up to the plate. It's up to us. It's up to us to stop this Orwellian nightmare. But I'm thinking like H.G. Wells says, it's just too damn late. He didn't say that, but he said that. I'm paraphrasing here. He basically said that millions would protest the New World Order. They'd hate it, but they'd die protesting it. That's a very cryptic message from legendary author H.G. Wells. But it's the truth. It's the truth, folks. It's the degradation of society. I had some colorful words for it earlier, which leads me back to this article here. Number 4, Kaepernick, which I like to call Kaeperprick. Controversy prompts security concerns for 49ers game. Police unions threaten to boycott. Now this is communists hating communists. Fraternal Mason cops that are a bunch of communists, they don't even know it, they're hating on another communist. And what are they hating on? Free speech. It's a psyop and it helps as basically proliferating anti-American values on the mainstream with this loser quarterback that was raised by white parents, lived a very privileged life, went to the best colleges that money can buy. His mommy and daddy decided that he, wanted to go to the NFL. They paid for that too. And there he is, privileged man, throwing recently converted Islam, throwing a pigskin around all day. And he wants to tell you about social justice. Which reminds me, now you can be a dirty, stinking social justice hippie or a Black Lives Matter thug with your hoodie on, and now you can get a degree in social justice. It's just beyond me, folks. I want to go to these institutions and just bitch slap the program directors or whoever are coming up with these curriculums, these academics. They're not academics. They're a bunch of Marxists, trash, and scum that are proliferating in the school systems and the educational system. I mean, it's pretty much run by Jesuits, folks. I mean, they're behind this divide and conquer. This whole controversy with this 49ers fans burning the flag. Okay, it's entertaining, but at the same time, if you really dive into it, do you really want mandatory flag worship like in North Korea? Think about that. Now we go to, let's see, we're at number 4. Number 3, claim that robot computers will commit more crimes than humans by 2040. Well, who's programming said robot to commit that crime? If it's the military-industrial complex programming freaking Ed 209s to blow to smithereens a bunch of Iraqis or Afghanis, then you're going to have this. Now, I wanted to say earlier, when I was talking about Colin Kaepernick just now, I wanted to mention that we've gone from Pat Tillman to Colin Kaepernick. Right. Exactly. Now, going back to this robot story, that's what they want, folks. I mean, you have a guy that was literally killed by the military-industrial complex for wanting to fight, in Afghanistan after this happened in 9/11, and they snuffed him because he realized it was nothing but heroin fields that he was protecting, no insurgents, and they've gone from guys like Pat Tillman to Colin Kaepernick with the San Francisco ferries. But that's what you're going to have. The MIC is soon going to program robots to commit more crimes, maybe in Syria, in Iraq, all over the Middle East by 2040.
It's funny you say about Syria because there's breaking news.
Oh,
right
breaking
now.
news. We're at number 4 on my top 10 list, but what's going on? Breaking news.
Ceasefire deal reached in Syria. Agreement lets U.S. and Russia target jihadist group.
Okay, again, target a group that is funded by the Pentagon and the CIA that they created themselves in order for the defense contractors to keep rolling out their bad boys over there and just slaughtering these people and causing them to come over here, hate America, and then cost the middle class millions.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, also, Bruce, Trump said that Clinton could shoot someone and not be arrested. That means that if she goes and kills your mother, it would be okay if Hillary did it?
No. Because then it would be okay for that guy that said that's locked up right now in Oregon currently, our good friend, Scungili, the Oregon provocateur, that said he wanted to shoot Hillary in the vagina. Then it would be okay for that guy to do it. So she's just taking a page
off of the Pete Antilli.
Off of the Scungili in Oregon show.
Playbook, yeah.
Right.
I don't know, but that's what Trump said. Trump said Clinton could shoot somebody and not be arrested.
So they're taking a page out of the Scungili book.
Santilli's hand.
Right.
Yeah, what's going on with that, though? I mean, he's supposed to get out, and now they're keeping him. In one state, he got off, but
now it went from breaking news to a Scungili update. So you just show up out of nowhere like a kamikaze on this show. That's what she does, folks. She leaves, she goes. Most of the time she's handling you who are supporting the show by buying our amazing products over at Antique Obsession /shop/Etsy. But yeah, no, as far as I know, the guy's still rotting in a jail cell. But if you go back, look, the guy is pretty much a provocateur, honey-dicking patriots. And if you go back to the LA Times, I mean, they say it right there that this guy was providing intel to the FBI. Mm. So, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. It's in the LA Times.
Right. You don't know how much or what. You really don't know when you deal with these.
It's a total psyop. Yeah. The guy isn't just that. He's a dirty COINTELPRO whore posing as alternative right media.
And he was funny. Sometimes.
And we worked with him, but, he's a fucking pussy.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not. He said that Patrick Henningsen was a pussy, and that was the funny joke, but he's not, because he actually stood up and went to Oregon, whatever it is.
No, it was just a job.
Yeah, okay, so whatever it is, whether he's locked up, he's still away from his people.
You just like the guy because if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have your Huckleberry.
No, I wouldn't have my Huckleberry if it wasn't for Pete saying.
Well, Pete Fantilli and El Bruce Doc Holiday / Tuco Benedicto Pacifico Juan Maria Ramirez were going to have an OK Corral gun down at one point.
Or seemingly so. Knowing him,
he said he's going to shoot me in the balls.
Yeah, but he said he was going to stick a gun up Hillary's pussy. So, I mean, he's with him, it's all talk. So, whatever.
You're saying we're like one and the same? It's like all shock jocks unite. Let's just fucking sing Kumbaya and put fucking lighters in the air?
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, that's enough of your update.
Well, what is it? Info war?
Oh, God.
I
was having a very good top 10 list. I was talking about robots being programmed to kill humans or commit more crimes than humans by 2040.
And they'd be working for Pete Santilli?
No, they're going to be working for the guys that he's working for.
Oh, okay.
People in the Army and the Intel and all that good stuff that stage all these Ruby Ridges and Wacos in order to honey dick truthers and patriots, folks. You got to watch out for these provocateurs. You got to watch out for these informants. You got to watch out for them, folks. Okay? Now, moving on. I believe I was on number 4. I'm on number 3 now. How about this? You have a man that was killed in an autopilot Tesla crash. So these autonomous cars or whatever, they're not so safe. Maybe they shouldn't take away our cars. They don't want to take away our guns. Now they're going to take away our cars and have these freaking autopilot Teslas crash into your house. I mean, who's going to be driving these things?
Yeah,
insane.
I'm not all for autopilot things. I mean, I guess it's okay for airplanes, but then again, did you hear about the Asian plane that ended up in Malaysia? It was supposed to go to Malaysia, but it ended up in Melbourne, Sydney.
Okay, it was probably cloaked. That's not part of the top 10 list. I mean, you're really just dizzying up the top 10 list. No, you talk to me. How about that? We're at number 2. A bloody nude man was arrested singing the theme to cops. That's what's going to happen with all these EBTers getting all these freebies from Barack Obama. You're going to have a bunch of degenerates running around naked singing the theme to cops with needles in their arm and in between their fat feet. That's what's going to happen, folks. It's a complete degradation of America. And with the degradation of America, we come to the niggazation of America. Once again, with this story, like Charlie Murphy would quote, it's mad niggerish. Another university offers black students separate housing complex. Now, universities are going around offering separate housing for black students. It's just like Kanye West running around saying, I don't want any white girls. I don't want any white girls in my video. If you put a white girl in my video, I'm going to kill you when murder is legal.
But that guy is like trying to be an artist, from what I understand. Like he's been
he's hiring people who have talent.
Yeah, like
and guess what? It's going bad.
Vanessa Beecroft. And anyway,
it's going bad. He's getting laughed at. He is the laughing stock of the art community.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean, he's putting himself out there. You said something interesting, that he was working for the CIA as COINTELPRO to try to demean the integrity of the intelligence in the art world.
They're like Pied Pipers, these Kanye Wests and Beyoncés. They're Pied Pipers of the black community, leading them like sheep to the slaughterhouse. That's what they're doing. But think of how sad and how backwards the black community, again that word community, communist, think of that. Think about how backwards they're going. Instead of taking steps forward, they're taking steps back. I mean, the whole civil rights movement was about integration. Integration. I had a Gary Johnson moment.
Not really.
Integration. And now they want separation. They're communists. They're separatists. They're just absolute scum. I mean, do you agree with these Marxists that are now wanting to be isolated from other races? That's what it is. To me, I mean, promoting guys like Kaepernick and then Obama saying that he supports them. I mean, to me, that's exactly what it is. I'm not going to pull any punches. It's a niggazation with an N-I-G-G-A, like Tupac would say.
Yeah, but that would be cool. And in fact, I think the whole...
What would be cool?
You know what I'm saying? Like, to be like Tupac. But I'm saying...
Okay.
Yeah, but these people, what they're trying to do is bring us to a third world mentality. Like, when I lived in Brazil... You wouldn't really go to a soccer game because these kids are maniacs and they trample people. And I think we're entering a world now where you'll see a third world mentality, like a consciousness that doesn't really have a lot of regard or respect for the other person. And that's I think, to sum it up, is what Bruce is talking about. Like, once you start lowering the standards, like, why would you want to shoot a police? Who fucking cares? The police are basically there to help you. I mean, why even start shit? Who cares? Like, why are you telling a white person Black Lives Matter unless you really had an incident with a real racially charged incident? I mean, most white people today are okay with black people. The average person, I mean, you run into... Everybody's the same, you know? Like,
we have a black president, for crying out loud.
Like,
you shouldn't even have Black Lives Matter. You should have Hillary's lies matter. Okay?
Right.
You should have Hillary's lies matter, folks. Because this is just complete stupidity. I mean, it's literally spitting in the face of people like Martin Luther King and what they try to do for blacks in America. You know, it's just a complete step back. Just 2 steps back for them. Mm-hmm. It's gross. Yeah. It's gross, and I'm sick of it. You know, this should have been number 1 on my top 10 list. How about this, folks? You can now get a burrito delivered to you via drone. That's right, drone burrito deliveries. Alphabet and Chipotle, oh no, not Chipotle burritos, they're literally nuking your ass. Are bringing burrito delivery drones only to these Marxists in their campuses. But then again, would you want to have a freaking burrito drone to you? I tell you what, I would want a burrito drone for me if it was coming from King Taco.
Oh yeah, I think you want that.
All asada burrito with the green sauce. Give me 2 extra green sauce. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. That would be ideal for me. And then a side of some pastor tacos. I'm sorry, Rabbi. I was raised Mexican and I love pastor.
Yeah, I get you. You're funny.
And I literally am from the school of, I could eat the pork because I don't hang out with piggish people.
Well, I don't know.
That's my Judaism.
That's not really in any Jewish scripture, so...
Well, I still fight Amalek every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern on this show, Shabbat Shalom.
I think the thing with kosher laws...
I am the Bruce freaking Rothstein of Ace Rothstein. Go ahead.
I think the thing with kosher laws, Bruce, really has to do with, like, for example, back in the day, when they started writing the scriptures, like 2,000 years ago... Like, Jews are not supposed to eat pork or, like, shellfish, right? So... But
they'd blow up. Their faces would get all fat and puffy, probably. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Like, so...
They'll get an allergic reaction.
Yeah, Bruce. So exactly what I was saying was that the pork causes, like, a trichinosis. And
oh, wow.
Right. So if it's not cooked well enough. So no, they didn't know that back then. But... especially maybe communities, they would see their own people
There's
dying.
that word again, communities.
Yeah, well, whatever, communities.
Communities.
Listen, can you be your own lawyer? Can you be your own tax guy? Can you be your own doctor? Can you be your own house builder? You can't be a total do-it-your-aller. I mean, there has got to be some kind of sense of community. Can you be your own farmer, your own doctor?
No, I get it.
So you got to be able to...
But you got to study the words. Community, communism. Okay?
Well, there is some...
You know what I'm getting at.
the whole financial system is based on bartering, so it is some sort of communism.
Look, but at the end of the day, it's the elites that created every single system, even the best system, capitalism. They know the ins and outs of every system. You're absolutely right.
Right, and then with the shrimp, you know, they used to get allergic reactions, and then also people's throat, like you said, would swell up, and they could die. And, and then they would see that they didn't have the medical knowledge as we do today. They know that this one has a shrimp allergy, this one has a seafood allergy, shellfish, or specifically this. But so then they just stopped. I believe this, that they just cut it out of the diet altogether to preserve the culture or religion.
I know where I heard that about being able to eat bacon.
Some
I heard it was not a shill. It was a rabbi at your nephew's bar mitzvah in Florida. I heard him say it, and then I looked at you, and then you looked at me, and I said, that means I could have the BLT. It was amazing.
It was really? Okay.
I'm telling you, it's a genuine source.
Oh, okay.
All right? This one always wants to fight with me live. Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's why we got married,
well, that's
folks.
why we're the Wild West. You know?
So we're like Itchy and Scratchy, even though we fight. We still, you know. Kiss.
Thank you, Pete.
Anyway, I don't know if King Taco starts burrito drone deliveries. I'm gonna be literally a big buyer of those.
You know what?
I don't want to get big.
I tell you something.
Does this gun make me look fat?
Bruce, if
I saw that article.
I'm just imagining, you know, some of our high profile clients. Like if
we get sky high on this.
Okay, so if I had access to a drone and I could like drone them their products as soon as they're finished.
Cool.
But you know what? I would feel nervous because I don't have protection. I don't know what.
Well, first of all, you don't play enough Xbox Live. You would probably fly the freaking drone into some old lady walking the street to splat.
Yeah,
just splat.
I don't think
it'd be bad.
But I'm saying just in general, like.
And speaking of bad,
it's not safe.
Speaking of bad, you know how bad the Mets are, right? I mean, they're bad. That's another reason why I wanted to leave New York, folks, because the Mets stink. Just as much as the poop on the stoop that the dupe, El Comrade de Blasio, now lets you smell every morning when you wake up in New York, courtesy of a stinky bum. But now you got another stinky bum coming to town. You got Tebow, who signed with the New York Mets. You remember that guy that was like a tight end that pretended to be a quarterback?
A tight ass?
Tight end. It's a position in football, Janine.
Oh,
Jaja.
I thought they all...
Okay, she's the kind of girl. She just proved it live on air, folks. She's the kind of girl that wants to go to the baseball games and sit behind first base so she can look at the first baseman's ass. That's who you are, right?
No, I'd like to look at your ass. Yeah.
Well, that's why I played first base. I was the Eric Karros of my time. You know, I almost got a home run ball from him in Dodger Stadium. But look, this proves the New York Mets stink. You have Tebow going to play for them, or he's in minor league, but. That's the Bruce Sports update. I gotta mention certain things. You know, that's
Bruce.
That's noteworthy here.
Can I just tell you something else that's noteworthy? The CNN is trying to get men not to have sex. Older men. They said that they'll die if they have a lot of frequent sex.
Well, that's completely contrary to a study that just came out of a small town in Italy where residents there are living almost up to like 110 years from having nothing but sex. Not butt sex. But having a lot of sex. Maybe even butt sex. Who knows? But they're having this sex and they're eating very well. Exactly. They're eating very good food and they're living a very long time.
Yeah, my grandmother got married at 73 to a guy that was even older than her, and you know they were having sex.
Oh God, no! I don't want to hear about.
And he died at 95.
Old people sex. That's disgusting. You're gonna turn off our entire audience. I'm gonna have to cut off your mic.
That's CNN, man.
I'm gonna have to cut off her mic.
They have more difficulties reaching an orgasm for medical or emotional reasons.
Or if their wife looks like a they live alien.
Or your mother.
Like my mother does. My mother, if you see my mother, I expose so much, I'll expose my own mother. My mother looks like one of the they live aliens. Wow. She's hideous, folks. She looks like leprosy hit her all over her face. It doesn't matter if you have the best Brazilian freaking plastic surgeon. She's so ugly. She is ugly. Wow.
Well, beauty comes from the inside, and
Ugh. Or in the case of California, their freaking face is falling all over the place. There's no beauty. Look at this. Leprosy hits California.
how
In Riverside, California.
Yeah.
Speaking of mother, leprosy. You know what I think? This is a direct cause, a direct result from Obama's massive influx of Syrian refugees. I'll tell you what this is. This might not be leprosy. This could very well be a flesh-eating bacteria, leishmaniasis. It could be leishmaniasis in Riverside. Now, what is leishmaniasis? It's a flesh-eating bacteria, like I said, Google it up, that was found in Syria right now. The Syrian immigrants are carrying this flesh-eating disease. Now, they're getting enrolled. We did that report where we saw the Mexican government was sponsoring hundreds and hundreds of illegal alien children to now be just pushed, just to swarm the school systems here. And that's what they're doing. They're pushing in now the mass influx of Syrian refugees. Many of them could have this flesh-eating bacteria that they're saying is leprosy, but, they have no idea. Maybe it could be leishmaniasis.
Hey, Bruce, remember we went to Alpine in Texas?
I remember I had an Alpine stereo, but yeah, what's up?
We went through Alpine, we stayed around there. But some girl, freshman, shot another student at school before killing herself. It was a 14-year-old girl. Just happened, in Texas. 2 people were injured. Mm-hmm.
How,
The girl who died was from El Paso.
El Paso, okay, that's great. But what about leishmaniasis in California from this influx? Whatever. Rednecks are going to shoot each other in Texas. Big deal. Who cares? What I'm trying to say is, yes, I hope so. But I hope my kid doesn't contract this leishmaniasis in this Riverside County. I mean, it's absolutely insane. That's hitting home for me. I used to hang my hat there. I grew up there. I went to high school in that county. And it seems that leprosy has hit California. And I'm thinking it's that flesh-eating bacteria. I mean, it could very well be as a result of CIA bio-warfare in that area of Syria. And now the people, the immigrants there were the recipients of that. They breathed it in just like our own military people breathe in the depleted uranium. Well, the immigrants were breathing that in. And now they brought it back home. And, thinking about this 9/11 15 years anniversary, it's a little surreal. Time is just going by so fast. I remember being a freshman in high school when 9/11 happened. No, I believe I was a sophomore in high school. That's right. I was in my math class, and it happened. And I didn't understand it then, but I understand now that was a mini Reichstag. That is what it was. You got to look at this, folks. I mean, it goes deep. After World War II, you had many Nazi scientists come over here and become part of the United States, thus covertly taking over the government. And, they tell you the Nazis lost, but in reality, they just moved. They moved the headquarters to USA.
Yes. More than we know it and are willing to admit it. So, a lot of information. Everything got changed. Follow the yellow brick road. They all use their money to pay off to get new identities and passports. And that was it.
And you could research this, folks. It's called Operation Paperclip. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. This is truth and nothing but the truth coming from your humble host, Bruce. Now, like I said earlier, folks, the influx of these immigrants coming in to destroy the middle class is just completely insane. But this is just as insane. You know that illegals are using fake sex claims. They're saying they're being assaulted just to stay here in the United States.
I believe that. They want to abuse the legal system.
I mean, you see them at the welfare offices. I mean, when you're forced to go in there and get this Obamacare, unfortunately, you have to be in there with everybody in the breadline.
Yeah.
I mean, they put you in there with all these bastards, and you see them. You see how they take advantage of the system. Okay, they show up there and they got an Escalade that they got from dirty drug money, and then they show up and they're a bunch of welfare queens. Or they just prostitutes, hookers, or they just go there to just leech. That's what they want. They just want to leech.
Yeah, obviously they're not really trying to elevate themselves or anyone else. They just, like, you saw so many things. Like you saw this guy just like sticking his hand into his child's chips and saying, "You gotta share, SA."
Oh yeah, that's their mentality. You gotta share. Why, if you made money with your hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears, why do you have to share it with anybody? Okay, you got bald-headed idiots that you got to support too from El Salvador, gangbangers that are getting preferential treatment over Americans. They have a bunch of stinky Ghanans with their 12 stinky children getting preferential treatment over Americans, over vets that need the assistance, the government assistance more than anybody. Because, I mean, they already did the ultimate sacrifice fighting for these fat cats' unconstitutional, undeclared wars. I mean, it's only fair, but they're old war horses. They're used as just obsolete, old freaking material. They're old news, and they just throw them in the closet and let them rot. They lock the freaking door and throw away the key with some of these people. And they give the aid to those that don't deserve it, that aren't contributing to society.
Meanwhile, we have 13,600 U.S. troops are supposedly going to stay in Afghanistan until 2024.
Right? So, again, we talked about legalizing, decriminalizing marijuana, legalizing marijuana. Well, in the drug war, more people have died in the drug war than in the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. So they're just continuing every war. They're continuing the welfare, the warfare state. And again, they use this to invade other countries, the pretext that we were attacked on 9/11. And it continues to say 15 years later, nothing has changed. Nothing is different. We're still at war with enemies that have been created by the Pentagon and by the CIA.
Yeah, well, the art world, look at that. Speaking of, like, enemies and CIA controlled, I mean, I'm just looking at a piece of artwork that's being shared by some artists, and I'm not even going to tell you who or what or where, but it's obviously a checkerboard floor.
And again, that's indicative of Saturn, the Masonic cube of Saturn, and how fitting, because you have the whole 15 years, the 15-year anniversary. And if you look around Ground Zero, folks, you'll see the occult symbolism that surrounds, the entire city. But right there, smack dab on Ground Zero, there is a cube of a Kaaba, the cube of Mecca, disguised as a fountain. Hidden in plain sight. The towers themselves were indicative of Freemasonic occult symbolism. They represented Jachin and Boaz, the two pillars that hold Saturn on its axis in occult folklore. So that's also indicative. That's also indicative of their whole ideology of problem, reaction, solution. One of the towers was the problem. The other one going down was the solution. And then both of them gone, and this new one that we have, this One World Trade Center, that was the reaction, the problem, and the solution. The final tower.
Yes.
The thesis and the antithesis.
Antithesis.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, it gets pretty paranormal. gets pretty nutty, folks. That's why the symbols are all around you. You got to put on those They Live glasses. I mean, they're in your modern art. Like Jaja just said, she's dissing this artist here that is obviously overtly promoting Masonic artwork.
Yeah, and then people want to know why you don't see like really talented people anymore, and why is like trash being promoted. I'm not saying that most artists are not trash. There's some amazing artists that really hold a lot of credibility and also theory, but in general, when you see somebody that just comes up or stays around and they're really not making anything that's really intriguing, you wonder why, and now you can see it. You can see it very clearly why they're in, who they're there, who put them there, and how they're staying there. So it's all, a lot of the games are dirty and they're rigged. And the game of fame is obviously a rigged game, and if you're famous, you're probably on the inside, or you're just on the way out. So
absolutely,
that's how I have it figured.
Absolutely, folks. Now, winding down here, coming down to the end of the show. Did you know that Ann Coulter got called a cunt 19 times?
Oh, wow.
By the Viacom Comedy Central roast. Did you also know that Viacom has been giving millions to Hillary's campaign? That's the same people that were behind the white rapper show you were on. The VH1 and MTV and BET. And it's the same people that are involved in child pedophilia that hire those guys from Nickelodeon and all those guys.
I think they wanted me to be on that show, but you see, there's something. Let me tell you something.
The
Bruce.
presidents of Hollywood decided that.
I was telling people I had no idea that I was being watched, because Bruce and I are targeted, and we know that we're watched a lot. But I didn't know how much or what. But I was plotting when I did get picked and harassed. Not just picked, but I was like, people came to me by the hordes, like even well-known people. They came to me, they called me on the phone, they just to beg me to be on that show. And I kept saying no. But then I really didn't want to be, because then I figured out, all right, I went for a joke, and then I got picked to be on the finalists, and then I was like pissed. But so then I was plotting what I could do to get out of it, because I didn't want to have a camera on me 24/7 for a week, or whatever. It's a week or less that I would be able to do.
Well, it's reality TV. I mean, you're no different than Donald Trump in this.
Worse, you'd have less power.
Right.
The cameraman would have more power than me.
Prepare yourselves for mass arrest, bloodshed, stun guns, civil disobedience, and maximum security resettlement facilities for political dissidents.
Get your guns up, time to load up. The revolution has just begun. Get your guns up, time to stock up. There's a victory to be won. When disaster strikes back, you read the riot act, and we aren't having that. Go get your strap and pack. Get your guns up and try and counter that. Wanna see your soul react, listen for the warning shot.
Drip, drop, fist fight, vilify, different tribe. Ready, aim, fire, light, another stick of dynamite. Drone spies, genocide, end times, sacralize. Fukushima, ignite, stock up on the iodine. Knock down, blackouts, trying to get us mapped out. Special forces on the front, some are telepathic. Backdoor gadgets, strap us down in shackles. It will never happen, cause I'm collecting MAC 10s.
Get your guns up, time to load up. The revolution has just begun. Get your guns up, time to stock up. There's a victory to be won. When disaster strikes back, you read the riot act, and we aren't having that. Go get your strap and pack. Get your guns up and try and counter that. Wanna see your soul react, listen for the warning shot.
Open the doctrine, take a look to the bottom. A product of our times, let's just wake up and get modern. Or will it be infected with the plague of bubonic? About to give your asses all a major colonic. Disconscious, that makes you haters astonished. With knowledge like a silent in the spirit of Joplin. Obnoxious, I'm playing games as a soccer. Ironic with the chronic, I'm a lyrical monster. Cock my revolver, forever problem solving. And if you got a comfort with my interest, pin the donkey. Let's stay platonic, cause you do not stick. The diagnostics on the masses are evolving. Agenda 21's on, we're not the right wing. Go try recruiting us all and try to profit. This is my conquering song, check the synopsis. They're philosophically depleted and agnostic. Out of state, army base, TSA, pepper sprays, bioweapons, all used on the beta race. Keep us safe, thorough trade, it was staged. Double agents in our face, television's a disgrace. Scripted by the CIA, more milk, stored food. The price you pay to pour the truth, shoot, jack food. The Constitution is the root, boom, ground crew. Another trooper flies the group, get your broom, call it truth. Who could film the fool's moon?
Get your guns up, time to load up. The revolution has just begun. Get your guns up, time to stock up. There's a victory to be won. When disaster strikes back, you read the riot act, and we aren't having that. Go get your strap and pack. Get your guns up and try and counter that. Wanna see us all react, listen for the warning shot.
Airborne virus, get yourself a license. Seismic seizures, breathing in the ether. Dengue fever, sending us diseases. Waterboard the generals that give us all a reason. Hostile, fugitive, locking up the Nubians. Body bags of dubious, tapping rack until you win. Not fit, toxic, levels up atomic. Suck up on artillery, get prepared to pop it.
Get your guns up, time to load up. The revolution has just begun. Get your guns up, time to stock up. There's a victory to be won. When disaster strikes back, you read the riot act, and we aren't having that. Go get your strap and pack. Get your guns up and try and counter that. Wanna see us all react, listen for the warning shot.
If everybody's insured, that way, God forbid, somebody gets like, you know, something horrible, you know, like just whatever, you know, or get into an accident, or God forbid, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just, at least you know that you can get the operation or get whatever you need instead of, you know, being in debt for $100,000. I knew somebody with brain cancer that was like, they couldn't afford, you know, whatever he needed, like to care for it. And it was just scary. So, I mean, I'm kind of glad. I'm not like a hater on it. It's like weird that everybody, you know, the programs and everything for everybody, I'm not really sure, and how it like reduces the quality of overall health care. But at least it's there in the general sense. But I don't really believe that we should be. I don't really believe in a lot of doctors. I mean, I have issues, but I think doctors can mean well, but they won't tell you the easiest route. They'll take you to the route that.
But at the end of the day, they shouldn't force anybody at gunpoint to have a healthcare plan, and then in the back rooms be organizing deals on who lives and who dies, and just having this complete
they're not going to come to you and shoot you to kill
on
you.
the healthcare business, and the government again getting involved in more than they should, you know, and now directing, you know, the healthcare business. I don't want the government in the healthcare business.
No, yes, I agree. You know, I mean, I don't really think that people. I think if you're going to use the healthcare system, you know, most people use it. I don't think that we should.
But if we wouldn't have gone to sign up to get the Obamacare, we'd be penalized, and they'd come after us.
Yes.
So they forced us to stand in line with all this scum, all these vagabonds that are destroying America, and pretty much pinning it on the middle class. Every dime that these fat, lazy idiots get to eat comes from the middle class.
Did we see a 5-inch tarantula the other day? What if that motherfucker bit you? All right? You know what I'm saying? You had rattlesnakes here. What if we went on a hike and something?
This is the Wild West.
Okay, so don't you feel a little bit better? I mean, even though you don't like to be forced to do it, but the fact that you are covered, God forbid, like I'm saying, some weird shit goes down. I'm not saying go run and, go abuse the doctors and have them weigh you and take 1 million blood tests all the time and take 1 million MRIs. I think that people should live well, take care of themselves to the best of your ability. I don't believe that Monsanto should be in our foods. I think it's scary. I'm physically affected by non-GMO foods, a lot of them. I try my best to stay away from it, and when I do get itchy, I try to take acidophilus and Pal Darko.
I take cannabis because that alone has enough vitamins and minerals and it's nutritious and it should be given to people who are recovering from cancer treatments.
Could they make cannabis tortillas?
I don't know.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, they make so many edibles, you know what I mean? But you have all these political bastards that are pretty much adhering to the William Randolph Hearst mentality, talking about that cannabis is just some devil weed, when really it just opens up your third eye, which is what the New World Order hates the most. You don't need some stinking ayahuasca to learn about the New World Order. Just take a puff of a blunt, and then you'll be up all night researching the Kennedy assassination, and then at the end of the day, you'll realize that he was a Nazi anyway, folks.
It doesn't fucking matter.
And with that, I am about to ride away into the sunset in my horse, Black Beauty. That's right. I would have a horse, I'd call it Black Beauty. And I ride off, I go, ha! You know, ah, wah, wah, wah. Anyway, folks, we've come to the end of the line.
Oh, no.
Not Treblinka or Bergen-Belsen or
Hans
Franz. Or Hans Franz, but we've come to the end of the line, the end of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to yours truly, Bruce Montalvo, the angry guy that doesn't eat Snickers even though he's very angry, and my wife,
sidekick,
my co-host for life.
Co-host was Emotion.
That's right. Now, with that, I bid you adieu. Sayonara. And remember, folks, tune in to this show because if you're looking for the truth, you'll get nothing but the truth. So help you, Bruce. This has been the Bruce Montalvo Show. See you later.
Peace.